SNP spokesperson Pete Wishart.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. And what an absolute and utter mess. And I'm not entirely sure that has been much helped and assisted by what the Leader of the House has said about this process this morning. I think what he's inviting us to do is to capitulate to this Tory kangaroo court committee and go along with what they're intending to do in terms of its reform. If he wants us to participate, we have to return to the status quo. We have to be back to where we were before we voted yesterday, with an intact Standards Committee abiding by the findings of that Standards Committee. And it's only on that basis that we'll enter into any discussions or talks with them this morning, because what we have just now is absolutely disgraceful. We have effectively two committees, maybe three if the Leader of the House gets his way, who have no legitimacy in this House, who have no confidence in the membership of this House, and who have absolutely no trust from any of the members of the public at all. And no wonder there are so many gloomy Tory MPs kicking around this House this morning. I think it's starting to dawn on them the magnitude of what they attempted to do yesterday. What they did was to legitimise and sanction paid advocacy and signal a return to cash for questions and grubby brown envelopes stuffed full of cash for doing their paymasters' bidding. They have effectively dispensed with independent investigation and have transferred that to a kangaroo court committee in which they've given themselves a majority. And we will play no part in this committee of corruption. And I'm glad the Labour Party are too. And what are they doing about the Standards Committee? Because I heard the Business Secretary this morning too saying that she should review her position. This is akin to giving the referee the red card because they didn't like the decision of that referee. And it's not too late. Return us to the status quo. Do what we were yesterday, and we will enter into discussions, but not on the basis of this ridiculous attempt to reform. And, Mr Speaker, I've given up trying to get him to wear a face mask. I now have accepted he does not care a jot about the safety and security of his colleagues or staff in this House. We now have an outbreak in this House, and we have him with his weird individualism and arrogance refusing to do anything about it. Maybe this is something that his Tory kangaroo court committee could look at, because it'll have precious little else to do anyway.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Nobody would wish to defend paid advocacy. And I would say to the honourable gentleman that his pre-prepared fury every week is becoming very much a broken record. It doesn't matter what the subject is, the fury is enormous. It may be that it's raining outside and the honourable gentleman is furious. It may be that there's been a debate on standards and the honourable gentleman is furious. Anything that comes up, he comes here to be cross, and he got crosser and crosser as the weeks and the days go on. But if he had listened to what I have said, if he had listened rather than concentrating on his pre-prepared fury, he would have noted that I said we need to make sure that this happens on a cross-party basis. It would be idle to pretend that there are not concerns about the system. It would be idle to pretend that there are not many people in this House who feel that not having a proper appeals process is a flaw within the system. It would be idle to suggest that there are not people in this House who don't recognise that the system set up for the IECGS, with the IEP, has, with a High Court judge, a better legal focus than the other system. These things are all true, and they all need to be looked at. But of course, to maintain high standards and to maintain proper processes, we want to have cross-party support.